everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in the Four Keeps, Origin, Part 8. Today is September 6th, 2021, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, and you can also go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. Levi, you absolute madman, thank you so much for everybody in chat who is gifting all these subs. We made it to Hype Train level 4 already, and we're still in the intro. I can't wait to see where the rest of today's game takes us. Probably hell. We'll never know. Speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on that Patreon at patreon.com/indooradventures. And it's a good time. You can join us there via the Discord. You can find that link in the description of the Twitch chat or the description of this video or audiocast down below, or you can check us and join us out on Discord. You can find the link to the side over meow. But if you already support us on Patreon, you already support us on Twitch and YouTube and all of those other wonderful spaces, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this wonderful show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, and most importantly, we thought it was over, but it's not. We got face masks! Yeah, we got face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201. We call them Tia masks. They come in all 5 of her glorious chromatic colors, and all of the proceeds from those masks end up going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause, or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who you playing today?
Hey, Steven, you want to see something funny?
Yeah? I swear to God, don't you do this. What are you... Wah! BB! I love you.
Anyway, hey everybody, I'm RJ. Today I'll be playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard, and we're both he/him.
Hello everybody, I'm LBHackEmUp, and I'm going to be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter. We both are she/her.
Hi, I'm Cyber. If I have technical difficulties, it's definitely not because I have a dog under my desk who may be laying on the wires because nothing is Lady's fault. I use he/him pronouns, or actually any of them. Do whatever. But I play Arjhan. He is a draconian dragonborn ranger and cleric who uses he/him pronouns.
Hi everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be playing as Cori, the Eldrin Paladin tonight. I use she/her pronouns. They use she, he, and they. Yeah.
And I am the indoor adventurer, he/him, and tonight I shall be your dungeon master. So, last we left off, it was a good time. It was a chill, relaxing evening that turned into a morning where you just decided you're gonna hunt some vampires. Low stakes, except for the wooden ones. And honestly, things were looking up. It was a good time. Arjhan, you ended up communicating, or I guess later on, you ended up praying to Tiamat inside of the Greatmaw shrine, kind of focusing on the new blade that you had gotten, that you had taken from one of the vampire corpses. Again, it was a good time. You destroyed a cave, hunted vampires, as we've already said, and then had a mild celebration with Grayscale, and that's where we sort of ended last week's session, with Arjhan inside of the Greatmaw Cavern, Cori looking at a sort of religious text that was talking about the singer of Endless Night, who, Cori, you are easily able to put 2 and 2 together, that you're assuming that the Midnight Singer is Shar. Gwen, you were drinking on some pretty fine drink, as thanks to the Greatmaw, as thanks to Grayscale, and decided to call it an early evening. And Caelum, you had been practicing you had been honing in on some magic using the echo shards that seemed the echo shards that seemed like they were a pretty good material component for any kind of electrical based spell. So that was towards the end of the evening. You all were separated for the most part. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do over this evening? Because if not, we can just go into the next day.
If Caelum... Oh, go ahead.
No, go. You go ahead.
If Caelum could ask for like a length of leather cord, he's going to basically wrap the gem and tie it around like his palm.
Levi, thank you for the bits. Yeah, getting a leather cord, any kind of length of leather is pretty easy up here.
Yeah, and you'll just have that on hand.
Okay.
Did we want to go back to the house?
Just so that we'd be ahead of travel.
JD, thank you so much for the subs.
Or at least it'd be a place to at least. Well, we go back home and we can talk about what our next moves are, which, based off of everything, it's probably going to be hell. So
right.
Now I don't know how much we actually need to worry about travel there. Or at least as getting there.
Yeah, I think we should probably make our way back to the house then.
Okay. We are going to say our goodbyes to this tribe.
Yeah. No, they again, it's at this point, if it's still in the evening, most of them are up and about, knowing that you have destroyed the tunnel that allowed the Iskin to make their way to this village. They seem pretty set that they are not worried about any kind of incursion. So most people here are awake and able to see you off. At this point, it's pretty easy to find that they're sleepy time Gwen, if it's still in the evening. Gwen, make a Constitution save for me.
Dropped all of my dice. Hold on. 10 plus. Oh, I get a. This is for being drunk.
Yeah, this is for that drank.
Yeah, I get it at advantage because I'm a halfling. It's 15 plus 3. Sorry.
Your Constitution saves should definitely be more than 3. I believe.
That's probably true.
Yeah. If you're a barbarian, I believe it
7.
should be more than 3. Yeah, there you go.
22.
Okay. Yeah, a 22. Gwen, you slept it off already. Like, honestly, you just needed to lay down for like an hour, and then you're feeling good. Like, you probably want to avoid that drink, like, if you want to stay like with a level of sobriety, but like you're feeling good right now. Like, you took a little nap, you ate some food, like you're rallying. It's fine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm awake.
You are able to regroup up, and then I believe you are able to use a combination of rope trick and the key to the house in order to actually make your way there. Correct?
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, you are able to do so. And Grayscale says, as her parting words, she gives thanks again to your help defeating the Iskin. If she ends up seeing any members of the Goliath tribe that are a part of Gwen's purview, she's actually going to hand you some pieces of leather that she has kind of written on, so that way her people know if these Goliaths are telling the truth, or if they are like Iskin spies. Like, at least like she'll know what the difference is on this one. She'll be able to suss that out.
Okay. This is for me to give to my people?
Yes, if you want to send people north to do trade with her,
Okay.
have these like, hey, like Grayscale said it was okay, we have these notes, versus just strangers showing up being like,
Right.
yeah, we totally had a trade
Totally.
agreement. Yeah, super
Totes.
cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did we
And
not
we're all
already
chill.
send them?
Yeah, I think they're on their way up, right?
I don't know if you had begun sending your people north because you wanted to ensure that you could have open trade before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as a
Cool.
a precautionary measure. Yeah, so you are able to gather your forces and then make your way into the house. And as you do, typical of Gideon, they ask you to remove your shoes when you come inside, as they just don't like dirt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
Gideon.
fair. Sorry.
Well, yeah, as you enter into the house and the door shuts behind you, looking out at the nice rounded windows that are in front of the house, as well as looking into the kitchen in the back, you can see that it is dark outside still, but you are on the grassy plains that are near the Goliath tribes where you had left your house previously.
All right, I gotta go drop.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah,
I'll-
I gotta go drop this off. I did think about something just in this moment that I probably should have told the voice in the sky that we don't need to do right now, but also something I need to think about. I need to find Parnell at some point because I need to give them a note. I feel like, didn't I do something with that? I gave that to someone to give to somebody.
Yeah, you tried to
you
track him
sent
down.
someone to Marisville, and
Right. And they
Peter
couldn't.
was no longer there.
But
Right,
now
okay.
we figured out that he was in the Isles of Alestria,
Hmm
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
which
That is
if
still something I need to know.
if we catch up to the Moonrunner, if the Moonrunner is on its voyage right now, if we would already be halfway there if Olivia is amenable, we could take care of
Okay.
that after we do our things at the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, cool. I just that's something I thought about literally right now, but yeah, okay. I'm gonna go drop this off and then we can get going to the hells.
I'd like to take a nap first, like
Okay.
an extended
Yeah.
nap.
Yeah, that sounds like a morning thing.
Okay. Go hang out with my niece a bit tonight. She's probably sleeping, but kids sleep, right? Or they not sleep. That's the thing, right? They don't sleep.
Both. They sleep
Yes.
at inopportune times.
Right.
And they wake up at even worse times.
Yes.
Cool. All right. I'll be down at the tribe. Let me know if you need me.
Hmm
I want to go do that.
Okay. Yeah, and Gwen, when you arrive, Chua is she's a little startled to see you here. Primarily because last she knew, you were like pinballing your way, like you were on the moon, then you were up north, and now you're just back again. Like she's learning to expect these like surprise visits from you. But she is still more just like again, sort of taken aback that like she can hear about you in all of these other places, and then you just bing, bang, boom, pop right back home. Cybra also is very excited to see you, as you guys had left your faithful pup here at the Goliath tribe.
How pregnant is she now?
Well, it's only been maybe about like 5 days since you dropped her
Okay.
off, so about as pregnant as last you saw her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it hasn't been super long, all things considered.
Okay. Hey, Chua. Hey, hi. I'm back just for a little bit. We're gonna go to the hells tomorrow, so.
Is that something you want to bring a jacket for, or not have a... I don't...
Actually, I've been there. It wasn't that bad. A little warm, a little humid, but in general, not too bad.
Well, in any case, from what I have heard, don't make deals.
Right.
Don't eat the food, I think, is one of the things that they have.
I think that's a Feywild.
Look, I know about this world and the realm beyond. All of the realms below and to the sides, I am not exactly familiar with.
That's totes fine.
But
I'm just learning about it.
regardless, stay safe.
Yeah.
And know that
I get
we are doing our best. Still.
good. Is there anything else I need to know about? Since and we talked last like a couple days ago, but
It has been not things are going fine here. Honestly,
Okay.
there are still talks about whether or not we want to pick up and move, or if we want to stay here as more of a permanent residence. Although, as far as permanent residence goes, I'm not so sure about the camp lifestyle. It can make things a little difficult.
yeah.
As an idea, as you're the chieftain, and if this is something that you would wish for, we could definitely see us to this happening. Where your friend, or where you found your friend Caelum,
Mm-hmm.
there are several, for the most part, abandoned keeps that are
Yeah.
in that area. We could reclaim those for our own if we were planning to be more of a centralized people and less traveling.
Right. Is that what the people want? They want to settle down?
It is not that we wish to settle down. Being nomadic is part of our culture. However, there are a lot of us here.
Babies. Yeah.
It makes things very difficult to pick up everything and move constantly when you are having to worry about almost 1,000, if more, people moving all at once. The tribe
Yeah,
is
that's-
big enough to be a city in and of itself.
All right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, whatever you guys want to do, I will support it. I trust you to know what's going on. I will say that all of this traveling, I am getting tired of it. So, we have a lot of shit to deal with right now. In the sense that remember this worm god thing. That's why I was on the moon.
And I trust that he has been defeated once and for all if you are back here.
Well, thanks, Chua, but no. No, we did defeat it. I died. Chua, I died. I met Talos. He sent me back.
And-
Then look at my eye.
And Gwen, have you had an eye patch on, or has it just been
Her hair has just
Okay.
been swooped over it right now.
I feel like Chua just sort of recoils a little bit, what the fuck? There is a lack of eye there, and she just, what is this? And she grabs you, puts her hands one eye, one thumb above on the eyebrow, the other below, and just giving it a very firm look. Just, you died.
I died. I didn't even know I could do that.
All right, well, just so we are in the clear, yes, you can. And that information is staying between you and me. Maybe we don't talk about that in front of everyone.
Of course. Yeah.
If they find out, the chieftain died and then she came back, some people might start questioning the validity of the chieftain. Is it chieftain until death, or is it chieftain after? It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Just between you and us. What? So you met him?
Yeah. He's fucking awesome.
Okay, that I was not... every time I speak with you lately, I get a slew of information that I am not yet ready to hear, but I am hearing it nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I just get excited.
Don't apologize.
Okay. Yeah. So yes. Okay. Went to his. And then I went to his plane. He was watching a lot of different battles on these looking glasses that were moving pictures.
Yes,
And-
using, I'm sure, divination magic of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. And then he had this giant squirrel, whose name was, I can't think off the top of my head. Ricket? What was it?
His name was Roddy, but if Gwen wants to say his name was Rickett, you're more than
No.
welcome to.
His name was Roddy, and we had to go talk to the god of the lycanthropes, who was has all the red skin and like a wolf face sort of deal, and I had to deliver a message for Talos.
Chua does not know who that is, but she is sure that that is all well and good.
Yeah. He lives up in this giant tree that I had to climb. It was fucking ridiculous. But anyways, I got to deliver a message from Talos to him, and it was like, yeah, fuck you, I can kick your ass sort of thing. And to be protected from this god who would have eaten me probably if that Talos took my eye, and then that was a symbol of his protection. So
Well, that is good that you are still protected by Talos.
yeah.
A giant tree.
Giant tree. Like bigger than a mountain.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Your tales are incredible, my chieftain.
Thanks. Do you think telling the people about me going to talk to Talos, would be okay? Because I think that'd be a really cool story as not now, but at some point as an encouragement for them.
I think that ultimately it would be a good decision to see that their chieftain is blessed. I think potentially, revealing to them that you died in the process of defending them and then came back blessed by Talos, definitely include that part.
Yeah.
Because if their chieftain came back blessed by the Lord of Storms, no question on validity.
Right.
Let's do that one.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we don't need to, obviously it's kind of, it's nighttime and everyone's probably sleepy. But yeah, so I thought that's all I think that's all I gotten up to. I went up, talked to the tribe up in the Echo Shard Mountains. They remember how I wanted to open up trade with them?
Yes. Were you able to meet with them?
Yes, I was. And she produces the letter, and they said we defeated some vampires and closed off their way to get to the tribe.
Vampires
and...
are real?
Oh yeah, they're fucking weird, but they're really wimpy, and one of them begged for his life. It was really kind of disappointing.
All right, how about if you tell the people that you met vampires, embellish that part a little bit?
I will. Absolutely, I will. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find out, is it just straight shot up, or did you find where they are located?
I did, and I could point. Could I point it out on a map?
Yes, but most of the maps that you have do not extend that far up.
I'll talk to Gideon about getting one made. I'll definitely. It's kind of. I could explain how to get there, but I'll have to draw a map because it is very treacherous.
She nods. If you ever meet someone who is able to act as a guide, that would also be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be pretty easy to do. Let me think. Is there anything else that I did that was cool? I mean, that's a lot of cool stuff.
There is a lot that you have presented me this day.
Yeah. It's been a week.
She just shakes her head.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go visit with Trezo and my little niece, and then we're gonna get on the road tomorrow.
And she nods and says, "We will begin preparations for your departure."
Thanks.
And
do you want anything from the Hells?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
My chieftain, I think, is a good thing to have come back from the Hells.
Yeah. Did he want to know how I died?
And she like looks like she's gonna say no, but then realizes that you're just gonna be telling everybody anyways. So yeah, she's down to hear about it.
Yeah, she'll just do like a quick synopsis of the battle, and then at the end she's like, and then he summoned this huge fucking it was like a void in space and time, and it was all black in the middle, and I got sucked into it, and I got disintegrated, like just fucking annihilated.
She just like shakes her head incredulously.
It wasn't super terrible. Would not recommend, but I mean, I mean, if you're gonna go, that's a way to go.
I would prefer to go quietly in my sleep or in battle. One of the two, no in-betweens. But turning into dust, not exactly on the top of my list, but I will take your word for it that it is a way to die on that one.
It definitely is a way
to die. Yes.
Yeah.
Like it would
All
go
right.
like fire, drowning, disintegration, a lot of other ways, and then at the top, the two good ones.
Right. In your sleep.
In my sleep.
All right. Well, if there's anything else you need me for, you know how to get in contact with me. But I'll make sure to say goodbye before I leave tomorrow.
Yeah. She nods and wishes you the best.
Yeah. I'll go spend the night with my niece and my brother.
Sounds good. Meanwhile, at the house, what is everyone else doing?
What are we doing?
Caelum's in the kitchen making tea.
The only thing that I have to do is just before we end the night, Arjhan does need to pray to Tiamat. Let her know that hey, we're gonna be dropping by because we need to talk to Asmodeus because of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, so during the process, she will respond and actually asks if you wouldn't mind stopping to come visit her as well. She would ask that you bring your friends.
Of course.
And then, she will leave a tuning fork with you that when you vibrate it, it almost sounds like a 5-way harmonic. And you are guessing that this is at least keyed in to her, to her chambers in Avernus.
Love it. New single from Pentatonics. Love it.
Yeah. And then Caelum, you said that you were making tea. And then Cori, what are you doing?
Cori has had Gideon get out a chalkboard. And Cori, presenting mail today, is making sure that we've got the plan, completely squared away. Honestly, it feels like we've been experiencing life sort of sporadically over the course of many days. And so it's probably best for us to go over it one last time to make sure that we know exactly what we're doing.
Days?
Span of hours, Cori.
Time is very strange for me. The Feywild, it's so different.
Oh, I was going to suggest that this has been going on for years.
Regardless.
Anyway.
Must be the influence of Caius.
Let's not joke about that.
So...
Hell's going to talk to Asmodeus.
Right.
I believe...
Well, actually...
Huh?
whenever we go to the Hells, I actually, my goddess has requested our presence
I see.
and
Okay.
has provided a tuning fork to Avernus.
All right. So Cori's going to put three different columns up on the chalkboard. One says Vault, one says Asmodeus, one says Orcus. And underneath Asmodeus, Cori writes, learn how to bind Caius to an artifact. Underneath the Vault, it says, find an artifact for binding. And underneath Orcus, it says, true name of Caius. And so Cori will also write underneath Asmodeus, see Tiamat. So first we're going to go to the Hells, see Tiamat, and then meet with Asmodeus and discover how to bind Caius to the artifact?
Probably or they'll request we do something for them, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay.
It's going to take Olivia about a month to sail over to where the vault is located.
I assume more time afterwards after we get done there to head to the Isles of Alestria. We do have a few things that we need to do there. Specifically, Parnell has something, or we have something for him. Then I also need to find Agravain and my mother.
Face off to the side, denoting side quests. Cori kind of points at Gwen and says, make sure you're taking good notes for this.
She's not
Gwen is
there.
not here.
There is just the blinking outline of where your halfling should be.
Where is Gwen?
She said she was going to go to the village to see her niece.
As soon as you got there.
Yeah.
I assume that's when Cori was first getting the board out and getting set up. So I'm going to do this. Yeah. Okay, sure, whatever. Go. Yes.
Cori's getting the chalkboard out of the basement. Just pulling it up the stairs.
Look, we have to prepare for the email that the meeting could have been. We understand.
Amazing. Gideon, would you mind sending a message to Gwen so that she can update her notes?
When she arrives back in the facility, I will be sure to do this thing, Resident Cori.
Thank you very much. All right, so over here on the side, we need to go to the Isles of Alestria, and we need to find Parnell. And then, Cori writes in big letters, Raven Queen. We have to deal with this sometime.
See, I felt like that, pointing to the Raven Queen, would be a very nice thing to do before that, and pointing to Orcus.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
If we're going to traipse in the domain of an undead lord, it'd probably be best if we had the goddess of dying on our side.
So along the bottom of the page, Cori's gonna make a big, long line, like the sound of chalk, just and we'll start making a timeline. Okay, so before Orcus, we should deal with the Raven Queen.
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Before Asmodeus, we should see Tiamat.
Yes.
Okay.
Both of these, pointing to Tiamat and the Raven Queen, can probably help us with these, pointing to Asmodeus and Orcus.
I see. So, are we saying that it should be Tiamat, Raven Queen, Asmodeus, Orcus?
Tiamat, Asmodeus, Raven Queen, Orcus.
This, circling both Tiamat and Asmodeus, will likely not kill us. Likely. That seems the least dangerous and the thing that we can do most quickly.
We should stop somewhere and get diamonds.
Diamonds.
Yes.
Writes down diamonds over in the side quest category. Alright, so here's what I have so far. Tiamat, Asmodeus, Raven Queen, Orcus, and then the vault. Where does the vault lie?
But in my mind, it makes sense to do the vault
That's not showing up.
around the same time as the Raven Queen,
All right.
likely before.
Writes vault with a question mark and an arrow pointing to both before and after Raven Queen. All right, and then we have a list of side things that I suppose we can just fit in wherever we can.
But as for tomorrow, Tiamat and Asmodeus.
All right, so first things first, we deal with the hells, and then I suppose we can figure out the rest in more detail later.
Yes.
Does everyone feel like we've got this together and understood?
I'm certain. That whenever we do Asmodeus, other complications will be revealed.
Of course.
We will deal with those after.
All right. Well, Arjhan, you're our expert on the hells. What do you need from me when we go and see Tiamat? Or the rest of us, for that matter.
Respect, I guess. I'll be honest, I'm nervous about this. Right before everything on the moon, I called out to Tiamat. I told her that I needed her here with me, and then all of you died anyway. So my faith is pretty shaken.
Sometimes that's the way things go. If there's anything I've learned, the gods are just as fallible as the rest of us. Yes, they're powerful, but they can't do everything. That's why they have us running around.
My faith in myself was shaken.
If the gods can't do everything, you can't expect yourself to.
Then what did I do all this for? This is far too heavy and metaphysical to get into right now, I guess. And I'm sure she'll have something to say about it tomorrow. There's no need to dwell on it any more than I already am.
I have a feeling you're going to dwell on it no matter what.
Yeah, he just shrugs.
Well, look at the way things are now. We're all here together. Somehow it's working out.
He just nods, but yeah, there's still clearly something there.
Cori will just put a hand on him. Speak to your goddess. Just slide that hand off his shoulder and start packing up the chalkboard.
Cool.
Sounds good.
D.
He nods.
Okay. And then outside of Gwen, is everyone just returning to their rooms to get some sleepy?
Yep.
Cam will try and sending off to Amaris to update her on what's going on.
Okay. Make your D100.
Till my world is collapsing. 45.
45. Okay. Goes through. So what is the message?
It's me, Caelum. A few stops before we get to you. But hold on, we're coming soon.
The response that you get back is, I'm doing my best. It's dark. And then you just hear what sounds like radio static. Just that heavy, like, noise that seems to fill up the rest of the sending.
Caelum exhales. He's in his room. Gideon, can you make a punching bag for me, please?
Of course, Resident Caelum. And Caelum, the punching bag that appears, is a standard-looking punching bag, but where like the main hitting area is, you just see like a grumpy-looking dwarf face.
That's in poor taste. He's going to nevermore the punching bag. If it gets destroyed, he will ask Gideon to summon another one and continuously do that until he's out of spell slots.
Yeah, the punching bag like flies off the chain, thud, lands on the ground, and then just like turns into basically like a particle effect dust, and then just reconstitutes on the on the same chain where it was, just like steadily swinging. You can just do it as many times as you like. Caelum, as you are doing this, on like the third punching bag that you blast out, you hear the sound of something falling against your desk. And when you look over, you see the flower that Cori had given you some time ago. Looks like it is almost wilted. And there is a small spherical gem that seems to be lying next to it.
He takes a step over, bends down and picks it up.
When you pick it up, you hear your own voice as a memory comes back to you. A memory that says, I just want a friend. And inside of this gem, you see yourself from what feels like lifetimes ago as a small child holding on to a shield.
He's going to lay it on his desk and then start inscribing a rune for identify onto the desk. Penknife just going into it.
Okay, yeah. Make an Arcana check.
15.
15. You recognize this as... It's non-magical, but it looks like the result of a portrait spell.
Gideon, where's Coriander right now?
Resident Coriander is in her room.
Scoops the gem up. Sorry, go ahead.
I said his.
In his room. Thank you.
There is the sound of boot falls going down the hallway before the door gets kicked into Cori's room.
Okay. And before that happens, Cori, you are in your room. You shut the door as your group is dispersed and you are getting ready for the evening. And as the door locks, door shuts, there is a darkness that seems to fall over your room. And you hear the sound of porcelain on a small plate as from the corner of your room, you see a figure sitting. They have a almost librarian-like aesthetic to them, with raven black hair that is pulled up into a bun, large full moon glasses that they just peer at you over. And they say, "Hello, Nixaya. It's been a while, and I think it's time that you and I had a chat, don't you think? After all, you've been trying so hard to keep away from me. I think it's only fair that we have a proper discussion. Wouldn't you agree? You've spent almost a solid month now slandering my name, and for what? To simply call upon the power I bestowed on you in a time of need. How very like you."
Cori squints for a second, then turns around and says, "Gideon?"
"Yes, Resident Cori."
"I was just checking. I presume this isn't a memory."
And there is the sipping sound from the teacup, and then, no. No, it is not.
Cori sighs, and just starts winding down for their day, just removing armor, and is like, "Well, what do you want to talk about?"
I'll tell you exactly what I would like to talk about. You, as it would stand. As I've said, I've been nothing more than amenable. I've worked with you, I've helped you, I've done everything that you've needed me to. And for what? I've asked nothing in return.
Oh, what a cutie!
I've asked for nothing in return. And still, shade is what you call me.
Cori sits down in the chair opposite her, and puts their boots up on the table. "What else am I supposed to call you?"
Your friend?
You've been a thorn in my side ever since we did that name business.
Oh, I've been a thorn in your side ever since you actively sought out my help, and I gave it to you willingly. Oh, trouble me. Yes, I have been a thorn.
What do you want?
To put it frankly, to be done with you.
I think that's the first thing we've agreed on.
I have no need of simple followers such as yourself, who cannot understand the blessings that have been bestowed upon them. You asked for my help, escaping the Raven Queen, and I assisted. You asked for my assistance in attempting to put an end to her fractured existence, to which I obliged. And then, when you and your companion, Oliviette, are finally together and you can finally be happy, the first thing that you do is actively try and remove me. To bid me farewell like I'm some sort of bad hat. Some sort of coat that you can just throw aside. Has our relationship meant nothing to you?
Yes, you gave me what I asked for. But you've done irreparable damage.
To what?
My friendships? My group?
You blame me like I am responsible for your lies. They were not my decisions to make. These were your actions, Nixaya, not mine. And the fact that you blame me consistently, we are done. There is no point in your servitude. So go. Be free of me, someone who, again, has done nothing but help. Nothing but assist you. If that is what you wish, fine.
Well, if you're done with me, then give me my name.
As you were. It doesn't suit you anyways. And she twists her hand, and in it there is a flower. This kind of midnight-colored lotus that just seems to exist. Or a midnight-colored orchid, I believe it was, that seems to just float in her hand. And she takes it, and she flicks it towards you, and it just seems to gently rotate and spin until it is in your hand. Take it. It's worthless anyways.
Cori reaches out.
And as you take it, it seems to just melt and wither in your hands.
Our business is done.
It is indeed. To me, you will always be Nixaya. However, the name has a new meaning. Now it means a failure. And she just seems to disappear into the darkness. And Cori, as you are sitting there, no longer Oath of Vengeance Paladin. Wah! Your door gets kicked in by a very angry wizard.
Like the lights turn on. And I want to say that like Cori is holding like this withered flower in a clenched hand. And just like turns and looks at Caelum.
Caelum looks at the withered flower, then to Cori, the blue pinpricks in his eyes slowly turning purple. What do you know?
It's done. Just drops the flower onto the table.
What's done?
I've officially severed ties with Shah.
Caelum uses his thumb to flick the bead at Cori.
Snatches it out of the air. Looks at it curiously. What is this?
It was in the flower you gave me.
And Cori, you've seen this scene before. This scene was originally in the Fractured Gemery. You know that this is a memory that you helped experience, but Caelum lost.
That flower was my name.
Apparently not.
Well, not anymore. Like looking at the memory, isn't this the memory you lost?
How can I remember if I've lost it?
Do you remember it now?
Do I remember it now?
You do.
This doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't it? We used to share memories a long time ago. Stopped doing that after all of this nonsense began.
Cori, That was in the flower that you gave me. Apparently a flower from Shar.
That was a mundane flower. It was a message.
You tell me then, because I found that in the flower.
Curious, like, just like... I don't know what this means, but it's gone now.
Noises of frustration as Caelum turns, closes the door behind him to be polite, and stomps off back to his room.
Stops him before he goes out the door. Caelum, you should know that it's not my name anymore.
Extrapolate.
She gave my name back. I gave you that flower because the only people in the world who knew that name was myself and Shar. I had to make sure somebody else had the pieces to put it together.
I'm following you so far, camera guy.
God, we got a Knights in the Courtyard about that. That's completely derailed me. The point being, we were in a rough patch back then, and you didn't trust me, but I still trusted you. I feel like you're probably the only person in the world who would know what to do with my name.
You are very lucky I decided not to burn that flower.
Well, it wasn't literally my name, it was a metaphor.
I'm way too stressed out to try and put this all together.
It is a mystery. Suffice it to say, I'm done with Shar, and Shar is done with me. And we can begin to put all of this behind us.
Great. Just like the last 5 times you said that.
This time I hope it's true.
Me too, Cori. Me too.
Alright. Let's Caelum go. Cleans up that wilted flower.
There is just like a vacuumy sound as Gideon just like cleans that off.
Gideon, dramatic door noise as I exit, please.
Kathunk.
Thank you. I don't want to slam the door because Arjhan's sleeping.
Aw, bless. Cori's gonna go and meditate on their new name.
Sounds good. So, with that, now that the big Kathunks have happened, the night goes by uneventfully. Yay! What a great time. Gwen, you wake up. Your tribe is just like so excited that their chieftain has returned. Cybra has given you like puppy kisses on your face to let you know that she needs to be let out. You got your niece that's like right next to you. There's Terizo, Barda, the Mamo is there. Everyone is happy that their chieftain is here. Man, what a great time you have had this day.
Yeah.
You get
Gwen's
served
gonna get
breakfast. There is
Yeah.
booze, like already, like ale is being like brought to you. It's a great morning.
Yeah. I will regale them of I will do a very small story about like I traveled to the moon and like what it's like on the moon. Not tell them what I did on the moon yet, but just like the temple and what the people are like there, just to give them like a little like, hey, I'm doing stuff. But not like, hey, I fucking died and met our god. Not yet. Not there. Just the nice stuff.
Yeah, the fluff. It's morning.
Yeah.
You just woke up. You don't want to give people the bad news yet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and I'll Gwen will let everyone know that she's she's back for the morning, but she has to continue her grand travels, and that she is still thinking about everyone, and like taking all of the needs of the tribe into consideration and all that sort of stuff. Kissing babies and shaking hands.
Oh, yeah. It's good to be the king.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's good to be chieftain right now. Yeah, and everyone, again, whole tribe loves you. They're all great. Like, PR is repping real good right now.
Yeah.
That and, like, as much as you're like, oh, like, what happened on the moon? What happened to your eye? Ah, that's a story for another time. Like,
exactly.
You gotta lean them in on this one. Like, put those hooks out, and then you can reel them in later. And, like, that is definitely what Gwen is doing. Yeah. So, yep, you are able to then make your way back to the house. Early morning house. Elves, I'm guessing, are waking up first, as, one of them doesn't have to sleep at all, and the other only sleeps for like 4 hours.
There is just the heavy ka-chunk of a punching bag getting thrown around a room.
Gwen gets an email.
Is Arjhan okay up there? Sorry, what?
Gwen gets an email from Gideon.
Gwen, this is what you missed previously on The Four Keeps, Origin, Part 8.
Carry on my wayward son.
You hear a coughing fit from upstairs.
Just like an iPhone photo of a chalkboard with like just haphazard notes.
Yeah.
Ends with shot on iPhone.
Gideon, can you like print this out so I can have a copy of it so I don't have to write it down?
I can transcribe this to a parchment, yes.
Perfect. Can you also draw a map of the... Well, maybe I can get Arjhan to do that. Is he fighting upstairs?
The noises that you are hearing up above are coming from resident Caelum's room.
Oh, God. She's gonna run upstairs. Bust in the door. What happened? What's going on?
Just the shirtless Caelum continuously using shocking grasp on a punching dummy.
You okay, buddy?
Nope.
What happened? What's wrong?
He kicks the dummy in the side. So I tried to contact Amaris last night, and, well, it cut off. She says it's dark, and, well, that's all I got.
Oh. Sorry to hear that. But it looks like we have a plan.
Cori was dealing with some more Char bullshit. Bzz.
In a good way or a bad way?
You can ask them.
Okie dokie. Just, don't burn the house down, okay?
I had Gideon install fire suppression in my room.
Like flour?
No, that's an accelerant.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
That's asbestos.
What would we use to put out fire in a tribe? Just
Water?
blankets? I guess it's true. All right, fair.
Magic.
Fair. Magic. That's true.
Listen,
All
there
right.
are no wet blankets in a Goliath tribe. They're all hardcore partiers.
All right, I guess I'll go talk to Cori.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Arjhan, I feel like this is around the time that you're like waking up to the sound of something coming from down the hallway. It sounds like kathunking. Then you hear the like Gwen steps go by your room. And then you hear like Caelum yell. Or at least raised Caelum voice.
Wait. Coffee.
Seems about right.
Coffee, black.
So yeah, Arjhan, you're going down to make coffee. Gwen going over to talk to Cori.
Gwen sees Arjhan leaving the room, and she's just like, everything okay in the house? Did I miss something big?
I feel like I missed something, and I am not equipped to handle it right now.
Cool. Could you make a big pot, please?
Mhm.
Got it. Knocks on Cori's door.
Cori goes and opens the door.
Hello.
Good morning.
Looking hot today. What happened yesterday?
Oh, well, you missed a meeting. You should have gotten a memo from Gideon.
Uh-huh.
You're not talking about that, are you?
No, Caelum's using a punching bag, which I've never seen him do before, so...
Right. Let's walk and talk.
Oh, okay.
Head to like Cori will explain whilst heading down to the kitchen. Do you remember that flower that I had you give him?
Yes.
Well, that was sort of a message from me to him.
Okay.
And
Is it that you
had to-
love him?
No, it had to do with Shah.
Oh, okay.
Something strange happened with the flower last night.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, right as I broke ties with Shah.
All right, that's good, right? Like, that's what we wanted.
Yes, but I think that Caelum didn't take it very well. You see, the flower turned into a gemmery.
Uh-huh.
You used to call them gem babies.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, a memory returned to Caelum, and the name that Shah gave me is dead now.
Okay, why is he upset?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because, like, I thought we didn't want Shar in our business anymore.
No, of course. But I was talking to Shah, and that has caused him a lot of pain in the past, so it makes sense to me.
Okay.
But hopefully we'll never be doing that again.
Cool. Are you okay, my dude?
I think so. Honestly. It's a great weight off my shoulders. But I do not like talking to her.
Yeah, I feel like you guys don't like talking to gods in general. I mean, besides Alistrae, because she is...
We have had a lot of problems with gods.
Yeah.
And if you check your notes, you'll find that the first thing that we need to do is talk to a god before we talk to a god, so that we can
Right.
deal with a god, so that we can deal with a thing that is different from gods.
But Tiamat's fucking sweet.
She has caused Arjhan a lot of problems as well.
Thought Arjhan loved her.
I think Arjhan loves part of her. And I think that there are other parts of her that make him very uncomfortable.
Crazy hot scale.
I don't think hotness necessarily works on Arjhan.
Fair.
Not in the way it does on you.
That's true. I am very susceptible to hot things.
As was evidenced by Lestrae. We make it to the kitchen.
You saw her. Like, that's not just me, okay? She's a fucking god, and she's gorgeous. And she was naked. Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
I feel like that is the conversation that is happening, like coming into the kitchen. The big pot of coffee has been made.
There is cinnamon and nutmeg on the side next to some cream because Arjhan wanted to make a pumpkin spice latte
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
because he needs some happy before this.
Yeah. You don't even need to roll for it. This is something Arjhan has done routinely, I would feel. This is his winter beverage of choice.
Scoots in and like is dumping like the cinnamon and nutmeg at the same time, like just like in one hand, just like dumping it in there, and then like opens up the cabinet and also throws in some cayenne.
Gross. Hey,
Hey,
so apparently, Cori broke ties with Shar. The flower that she gave Caelum was actually something to do with was her true name, and then it turned into a gemmy.
It was a mundane
Gemery.
flower. Okay, hold on. Let me explain.
Okay, sorry.
Cori will explain to Arjhan. It was a mundane flower. It was a clue as to what my true name was.
which was Nightflower.
Well, in as many words, yes, but in Elvish.
You know that's what cults do. They get you to choose a new name. That's like a whole thing. Shit, I changed my name right before all this shit with T-Pat.
That was your choice.
Yeah. You were
Nobody
given
else's.
your. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I was given a name too when I joined the Goliath tribe.
there's a lot of stuff that we have to unpack, but I don't feel like we have time for that.
I also have a
Caelum
lot of
walks-
other names.
Religion is just
Caelum,
a cult that got popular.
Caelum walks
Yeah.
down the stairs, just buttoning up. We're talking about names?
Did you
Yeah.
choose a cult name?
No, it was given to me.
Okay,
Do you get-
cool. Not cool, but that's better than the alternative.
I was a baby when I joined my cult.
Do you guys know all my titles?
Yes. Cori says very seriously.
Oh,
I know a lot of them.
I too know a lot of them.
I've earned them all. I took Godslayer off the list, okay?
Okay.
Saw that face.
Okay, I have a tuning fork.
Oh, sweet.
That is all I have.
That'll help me triangulate where we need to go with the plane shift.
I see.
Hands it over. I don't know exactly what she wants to talk to all of us about. My hope is, well, I have conveyed to her that we need to speak to Asmodeus, so hopefully she can help us get there without having to try and fight our way through multiple alternate dimensions.
Here's hoping.
That's it. That's all I got.
It's along for the ride, guys. I'm here. I'm with you guys. Whatever you need. Just point me.
Caelum, are you all right? Or did I miss something else? I miss a lot whenever I have to sleep the extra 4 hours.
Just a lot of things compounding on each other. I'm not doing well, but I'm managing.
What do I need to know before we get sidetracked on this?
I tried to contact Amaris last night and the sending cut.
So our timetable with that has gone up dramatically. Okay.
Pretty much.
Caelum, it's not that it cut. It just seems more like there was radio interference.
Sorry, I say cut as a quicker way of saying it. It's like someone was interfering with the sending itself. I believe there was more to the message, but I just couldn't receive it.
Do we need to do that before Asmodeus?
She's hanging on. We need to do this to make sure we have the highest possible chance of succeeding against Caius, so we might as well.
Are you saying do it before or after Asmodeus?
After Asmodeus.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh. Have you guys eaten yet?
Nope.
Good. Are we ready?
To go to hell?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we eat
Yeah.
before we go to hell?
We eat.
The food in hell sucks.
Sorry.
Like, all
Oh,
they
good
have is
point.
Burger King French fries. It's awful.
Oh,
Oh.
how dare you?
Just the real mealy potato.
Not even
Oh.
like the onion rings,
Nope.
the French fries.
Mhm.
Like salted paper.
Yep.
You might as well be eating the carton it comes in.
If you got mozzarella sticks there, all of the cheese would have melted out and it would just be like
The crunchy
the
bit.
crunchy bit, but like it's not even good breading. It's just that like
It's literally like a burger bun they crushed
all
up.
of the food you get in hell is painfully okay.
Oh no.
Oddly enough, you can get frozen yogurt that is painfully okay.
Oh, you are all woo full of some vinegar tonight.
Piss and vinegar.
Look, I avoided Chipotle queso. I could have brought that up. That was
Ooh.
relatively tame.
We make a delicious hash.
Okay. Yeah, there's also the Goliath tribe that's like right outside as well if you just wanted to stock up from food from there.
I'm not allowed there.
That's fair. But yeah, so you guys are all able to get all your foodstuffs ready. You have a nice, big, hearty hash breakfast, and you get
Breakfast.
ready. Breakfast. And you get ready to teleport to the Hells. And as the plane shift spell begins, and you all feel yourselves being transported, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon.
Goodbye.
And we're back.
Steven!
Ah!
Hey, so what do you call a belt made of watches?
On time.
A waste of time.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh. Oh god, I love that. What a dumb joke.
That's a new magic item.
Yeah.
One of these watches will be right today.
That's your clockwork soul sorcerer right there.
It's a waste of time.
Whoa!
Well, I was
Like,
six afraid
that
of
person's
seven.
voiced by Alan Tudyk for sure.
Oh, 110%.
Alan Tudyk went to Juilliard.
It's a waste of time. Woo!
With that, hello everybody, and welcome back. We have returned. So, we have just instigated a plane shift spell using a tuning fork that was bestowed upon our party by Tiamat herself. And as this, yes, you had your hand raised?
No, I was gonna say, as Caelum like hits the tuning fork on something, it's just a G note from Welcome to the Black Parade. The first one, the boing.
Fantastic. I'm here for it. So you all are wrapped in this 5-colored swirl, red, white, green, blue, and red. Or no, I said red and black was the last one. But it's more of like a purplish color because obviously it makes it a little bit more cinematic to have that be the case. But you are enraptured by this light, and then you can feel yourselves leaving Gideon. And when the colors dissipate, You are standing in the entryway of a 5-pointed chamber. On each of these points, there is a throne that sits a woman of different stature wearing differently colored clothes. And Arjhan, you recognize each of these women as Billy, Zarena. Why did I not have this prepared? There we go. Billy, Zelena, Kravenna, Madri, and Kara as the 5 different aspects of Tiamat, and they all look down towards your group. And it is, as your group arrives, it is silent except for a, you see, Billy waving towards your group, and Kravenna, motions, put your hand down. Oh, yeah, right, we're supposed to be serious. And, Billy sticks their hands down to the sides as well. And as your group arrives, they say in unison, more than anything, you have done well, Arjhan.
Thank you.
We have been watching your group for some time now. And our gratitude is in order. Upon the plain of Chorus aired, there were very few that had heard our song, that remembered our tales. Thanks to you 4, as well as the help of some others who are not amongst you, our tale has spread. And for that, you have our thanks. Arjhan has made it known that you are to speak to the Lord of the 9 Hells, Asmodeus. Collectively, we have decided that as thanks for informing others of our tale, we can give you audience. Does this seem like a reasonable reward?
Yes, any help that you can give us is appreciated, my queen.
Tarlean's son, step forward.
I'm not his son.
Arjhan, step forward.
I do.
We see that you carry with you the preferred weapon of a great hunter. One who, in a different time, hunted our own. However, we see that you use it for different means. And again, you have our thanks. And as they say this, there is a bead of color that seems to extend from each of these 5 points that actually centers onto you, Arjhan. And you feel, as they come towards you, they begin to circle around, and you feel a strength in song from the 5-pointed star. And patience becomes a +3 crossbow. Your flying speed increases to equal your walking speed. And you gain the sharpshooter feat.
Oh shit.
Ah, damn.
That lot.
You have done quite a bit in the name of the Queen. And we hope that you will continue to act as our herald.
Yeah, he just he stammers for a bit and he says, thank you. But he doesn't say anything else, and he's not really meeting any of her eyes.
You seem troubled. Are our gifts not satisfactory?
You know what I've just been through. This is your rewards are great. But you know that we're about to be thrust against a lot of things that the likes of which we have not come across before. I don't. He's clearly just he doesn't know how to voice the fact that he doesn't know if he's strong enough to take on a god.
Cori will step forward and just put a hand on his shoulder. If I may speak.
And as you say this, Cori, you see the blue and green aspects both like narrow their eyes at you, like, we did not call upon you to do this. But the red, blue, or the red, white, and black aspects raise their hands for you to speak.
I believe your servant requires more than just assistance and equipment. He has experienced unnatural things.
And you see each of the 5 has a slight smirk on their faces. To exist in this world is to experience the unnatural.
We fought the mere echo of this evil that we seek to seal away. And I barely made it out alive, and my friends did not. My power and the power you bestowed upon me was not enough to protect them from him. So how can I continue down this path knowing that knowing that it is going to be too much for me. For all of us.
Because at every leg of your journey, you and I are similar. We five that stand before you act as one. Our ideas may differ, our desires may differ, but at the end of the day, we stand strong, united. As is the same with your group. You have made friends and allies and others that you call family upon your journey. And while they may all seem separated, ultimately, you will act as one. 5 points of the same star, or in your case, 4 keeps of the same kingdom. Unless I am remembering your adventurers' names incorrectly. Caius is the inverse of what we stand for. He is many, but ultimately he is just one. A singular entity who has spread himself thin across the plane. He believes this is his path to victory. If any one of us, and the heads all, or the aspects all look at each other, acted alone, we would not be able to defeat them. We would not be able to accomplish nearly the things that we seek to be able to do. But united, we are a goddess.
Arjhan's expression does not change because it seems like she just did this whole speech but did not address my concern at all. So instead he'll just nod. Thank you for your words of inspiration. Stands up. You offered an audience with Asmodeus.
The aspects nod.
Any advice?
If he offers you a deal, make sure to read it thoroughly. His methods of operation often result in bargains that seem solid yet can have unintended consequences. As you can see, and they motion to the surrounding area. It was not our intent to stay here on Avernus. We made an agreement, and so here I shall be.
Can we get a legal team?
She nods.
Great.
And the aspects then look down to your group and say, "Are you ready to meet the Lord? The raging beast."
If you're speaking of Asmodeus.
They nod.
Cori kind of grimaces. Suppose we're as ready as we'll ever be. Looks to Caelum and Gwen.
Oh yeah, we totally got this. Big fan,
Just
by the way. Good to see you
The
again.
tightening of a leather bracer.
And with that, the 5-pointed room seems to converge. Like the sides fold in, and as they do, the aspects seem to merge into one. And then standing before you is a tall woman with ebony black skin, who, Arjhan, you recognize as the singular aspect. The forms converged. And she steps forward to be on the same plane as you are, as far as height differential goes. And she puts her hand up and pinches her middle finger and thumb together and makes a motion back and forth. A flicking motion that then causes what sounds like a bell to ring. And as this bell rings, there is a incredible heat that seems to come from a portal that opens up directly next to her. And Tiamat motions with a singular hand and says, "He waits."
Step forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So as the four of you step through, it is hot. Like this first layer of Vernus, this feels almost like if you've ever been in a situation where you thought 80, 85 degrees was hot, and then you were put into a situation where like you were in 110 degree weather the next day. It's not speaking from personal experience about events that happened to me earlier this year at all. But you discover that there is a new level of heat that you were not prepared for that exists. Like, as
but
a
it's a
principle,
dry heat, right?
it is a dry heat. It has just, like, taken all moisture out of the air.
It's dry heat, but with no shade.
None.
Oh.
Absolutely none. And the worst part is you're inside of a building. This is the shady part. And as you arrive inside of this building, you are in a large room. And at the end of this room, you see a long table. There are 6 individuals that are sitting here at this table, and they seem to be conversing with one another over a mountains of different foods of various types. You can also see that they seem to be enjoying and imbibing on their own. And at the center of this table is a most impressive man with dark reddish skin, horns as black as the space between stars that seem to wrap around a regal-looking red, almost robe. And they have a rod with a large ruby upon the top. And from the distance, Arjhan, you and Caelum can both see that in this ruby atop the gem, there seems to be something almost moving around wispily inside. that is when you remember hearing that Asmodeus had captured a former god of magic inside of a staff. You're guessing that is probably Asmodeus right there. And as the four of you arrive, Asmodeus looks your way and says, Tiamat, it's so nice of you. Oh, hello. Well, I did not expect to see four of you who are most certainly not that draconic goddess stepping through that portal. So, let me take a guess. It's not every day that the Dragon Mother, great as she is, reaches out to me on account of a group of individuals such as yourselves. A menagerie of mystery stands before my eyes, and I cannot help but wonder as to the circumstances that brought you all here before me. Confuses me, compels me. The sireling of the Obsidian Tyrant, an Eladrin Grove Warden turned godling, a chieftain whose tribe includes tribal shouts to her ancestors, and the newest magister who seems incapable of giving up his ghost. What do I owe the pleasure of you all standing here before me today, in my dining hall of all places?
I think that meeting this heat, Cori starts to put his hair up in a ponytail, reminiscent of his mother, entering business mode, and will also do a quick change to summer, and also spend the hit die required to confer those benefits to his party as well. So everybody gets summer form benefits, which is to say resistance to fire and the ability to understand Ignan.
Yes.
When you say heat, do you mean the temperature that we're at right now, or Asmodeus?
Column A, column B, you take your pick.
I have a quick question. Is he drinking a mint julep?
Does he have donuts?
He does not
Who's
have any
inside that
donuts with
donut
him.
hole?
Does
How many
he
knives
have
are out
11?
right now?
Does he have herbs and spices? And if so, are there 11 of them?
There are 12.
What color is his suit?
His suit is red and
No.
black, as we have previously discussed.
Oh my god.
You ever make a decision in the last stream game that you did on this channel and then didn't realize that it would have repercussions down the line? Because that's
All the
me
time.
right now.
Wait, is this your fault?
This is indeed.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
Grandpa Momo.
Knights in the Courtyard. We will talk about this later. Hell yeah. I'm so into this. Everybody's
hello, great and powerful Asmodeus.
everybody's in summer form now.
Great and powerful. Oh, you can go on if you insist, but yes, all of those are me.
All right, I like him. He's cool. Yeah, we are here to... We require your assistance, if you will be so gracious to give it.
I could be.
Gwen pulls out her flowchart.
Do you know of our quest?
Oh, it's hard not to know of your quest. There's quite a lot riding on all of this. I must confer on that. Now, it has been actually quite enjoyable. When I spend time with my family, as it were, we like to put it on the view screens while we're all enjoying dinner.
Watch us?
Of course.
It's like a
It's either that or watch the Blood War, and that's more boring than watching repeats day after day. It's the same problems, day in, day out. So, oh no, we got another incursion of demons. Oh no, the devils are falling behind. Oh no, Belle is trying to overthrow Zariel again. Same shit, different day.
If I'd known the gods were watching us so much, I'd probably perform a little bit more, honestly.
Oh, you performed
play it
just
up.
fine.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thanks.
He gives you a wink.
So
Hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. So forgive my crassness, but will you help us fuck with a worm god?
See, I would love to, that seems like something I would absolutely enjoy doing, but I do have to, well, put it into perspective for y'all. If I don't stop this here worm god, and the worm god, big air quotes on that one. What's your name, son?
Caelum, sir.
Caelum? Now, say this worm god kills everybody that's on the plane that ever was. Well, those spirits, they gotta go someplace, don't they? Now, most of them, the non-believers, the unbelievers, and those who reject the faith, they be coming this way. And that seems like a mighty fine surge of fighters that we could then use to send down, stop the demons once and for all.
I would very much like to know if he is telling the truth about this.
Yeah, you can definitely roll an insight check.
While you're doing that, forgive me, Lord of the Ninth, but do you really think that Caius is going to stop at the natural plane?
I don't think he would. However, there's a lot of distance between the natural plane and where I am. The fact that you all got here, why, that was just me calling in a favor. Well, not so much a favor, but Tiamat never really makes house calls. I was kind of hoping I'd see her instead, but I figured it'd be all.
I rolled a 12 on that insight, by the way.
A 12? He could be lying. He seems very good at deception if he isn't. Or if he is, though.
You kind of run into the same problem then with your demon war. It gets stagnant.
That is true.
There wouldn't be an influx of new souls to anywhere if Caius
Well,
takes over the prime material.
but then there's all the other prime material planes that he'd want to fuck with. There's your prime material plane, certainly. But then there are others. There's Toril. There is Awath. There's all sorts of places that Caius would want to go before he'd make his way here. In which case, why, we'd already have won. But I can see that you are acting with some concern, some reservation. So I'll put it lightly. I am willing to help you out. I'm guessing that you want to know something or other that I have in store. There are rules and regulations that I put in place that I cannot directly involve myself with the plight of mortals. With anything going on the material plane, that goes back to the Pax, baby. And I cannot exactly break those without throwing everything off balance. However, I would be willing to assist in some way or form. Unconditionally, of course. Do you think you can meet those conditions? Or at least...
Cloven, we need to know what those conditions are first before we agree to anything.
And Cori, as you say this, you hear a door open that just seems to get like thrown open, and the pattering of feet. Grandpa! As from the corners of the room, about like, they're like 3.5 feet, possibly 4 foot tall child just comes rushing in. Lightish pink skin, hair that is an absolute mess. It is a young tiefling girl that seems to run up, and like the other members of this court are just like, not again, and like they are like just like every time. And Asmodeus leans down, just, oh, come here, Conquest, yes, and he picks up this small tiefling girl and just sets her down on his lap. And she says, I saw a bug and there was a Baylor. And he just, oh, that's very nice, dear. But Momo's a little busy right now. Now, remember, what do we do when Grandpa's doing deals? We stay very quiet. That's right. And she just gives a big grin, and you can see like she lost one of her front teeth. So like the big tooth is growing in. There are some molars that are missing. Like she is like in the process of becoming a tiefling. She will be going to Hell Scouts camp later next year.
Oh, bless.
And she is just like giving him a hug and like pulls out a piece of paper and a crayon and just starts like drawing on the table while she sits on his lap. And he looks at her and says, I think I know, well, at least one of the things that you could possibly help me out with. Now, you might think that I don't exactly have a whole lot of stakes in this whole material plane business, but I could. Now, Arjhan, I have heard through the grapevine, one way or another, that you have a certain business model set in place, a tyrant security.
That I do.
One of the conditions for me helping you, when young Miss Connie here gets old enough, how about you give her a job?
What?
You heard me. She needs to learn the value of a hard day's work, not just going around slinging contracts like everybody else. She has to find out what it means to actually put in the solid hours to get to what needs to be done. And young Connie looks up. What's a job? Something that you get when you're older. Now, be quiet. Grandpa's talking. And he gives her a little kiss on the forehead.
Cori's eyebrows raise, and he like looks over at Caelum and Gwen like, are we seriously gonna get out of this easy?
Gwen is just like looking over, like you guys see her, you know she really likes kids, so you guys kind of see her just like looking over at her like, oh my god, I just want to go talk to her.
I, as Caelum, want to distract her with T-Con. Just like jingle the keys in front of her so that we can conduct our business.
I need the full text of the deal.
That can be arranged. I'll have my people call your people. Unless you'd prefer me to have the contract drafted up right here, right now, in which case I'm more than happy to oblige. Contractual obligations are some of my favorites.
I don't think we can move forward unless we have the full text.
Sounds good. And he will brush aside some of the food that's on the table and apologize for intruding on the space of the others that are at this table as well. And he places his finger down onto this table, and you see him scrawl something, and then places his hand on and then lifts it up. And as he does, there is a stack of what looks like it's about like 30 pages or so. And he says, here it is, fine writing. If you help my Miss Connie get a job, I'll help you out. The other stipulation, I know that you've been going around fighting off all sorts of other individuals, but I want to see what you're made of myself in person.
Okay, cool. I mean, what do you want?
I want to see how well you fight. Not me, of course. I would never sully the sanctity of my dinner hall with my own flesh and blood. But if you can, say, prove to me that you can fight my champion, it wouldn't be to blood, it'd be to the knee, or, well, some such effect. If you die, we can just bring you right back. You're in the right place for it.
They'd probably have to find you as Lemur in the River Styx first, but yeah, he's right.
Lord of the Ruby
Definitely
Rod.
do that. What?
Am I to presume, I haven't read the paperwork yet, your only conditions are that we give dear Conquest here a job, and we fight your champion?
Does it seem simple enough for you?
These are your only requests.
That is
Do
correct.
we have to win?
Well,
You
it's
didn't have to say
encouraged. Victory is indeed encouraged, and if not, well, we'll have a different set of rules that we're playing by.
What if it's entertaining?
Oh, if it's entertaining. Doesn't that make me the judge?
Exactly.
And how do you propose we fight your champion? Are we to use the armaments we have on hand, or...
He nods.
And what will your help come in the form of?
You tell me. I assume that you came all this way to ask me for something.
Kind of like to learn how you bound into your ruby staff.
Savras? I can teach you how to do that. However, if I do teach you, there is an added stipulation. A more, let's call it a nuclear option clause. Once used, you'll forget all about it. It's powerful magic. I don't know if I feel necessarily comfortable.
No, I kind of understand where you're coming from. That is
It could be detrimental if my secrets were just passed out willy-nilly. So, can be used successfully once.
Caelum will look to the rest of the group.
I'm thinking about other Arjhan.
But you guys, I'm more bloodlusty than you guys, so like as long as you think it's a good idea.
Sir Archfiend.
Oh, call me Asmo, Momo, Grandpa if you're lucky.
Prince of Evil.
That'll do.
I
I
believe we
haven't
have some
collected a
reading to do.
grandpa yet.
God. I believe we have some reading to do, but without making any promises in any way at this time, I think we're looking favorably upon these terms.
That's the thing. Everybody assumes that I'm always out to get you in some way or another. I'm just trying to look after my family.
Well, Lord of Lies, you do have a reputation.
Well, shucks. I suppose it does precede me. You are more than welcome to browse through the terms, this end-user agreement, as it were.
I absolutely would like to go through it.
Yeah.
Hopefully with that legal team that I asked for.
Yes.
And I do want to know if after going over it, if I believe that there is no restriction on me offering that information to alternate reality versions of myself so that they are also not defenseless.
There is no clause that prevents you from offering this to different versions of yourself. It does not seem like that is an idea that is even on Asmodeus's radar as far as reading through it. And I'm guessing this is in like rope trick, go in, talk to the legal team effectively. But as they're gazing through, it seems very cut and dry, almost simple, as it were. The premise of this contract is that when one conquest, quotation marks, Connie Adler, reaches the age of 18, she will be hired on as an intern at Tyrant Security. At this time, it will be up to one insert client's name, being yours, Arjhan, to provide the residing party with a job. Upon entering this job, Asmodeus will rightfully decline to help young Connie should she require further assistance in the form of overt godly action, in the form of miracles, plagues. There's like blizzards, earthquakes, like any like large scale religious thing or interference. The most help would be delineated through gift giving. And the gifts that it states are to be valued at no more than 250 gold pieces.
Interesting.
And you're fairly certain that this is more like that way. He can't be like, oh, I'm not able to help her out with anything. Here's a scroll of Summon Tarask. I didn't do this. Like, it is more to like put a cap on how much he can help.
Okay, that's interesting. Is it going to be a bad idea if I deliberately ask for that?
Ask for what?
For this information to also be shared with alternate realities.
It does not seem as if this contract again has any clause preventing you from doing so. But if you would like to get it written in that it would prevent you from sharing this contract with other realities, you are able to have that added in.
I'll do it.
Okay.
While he's going over this, Gwen is gonna go over to Connie. As long as Momo, it doesn't get like super protective or anything.
No, she's like showing him the picture that she drew, and it's like one of those like kid drawing of people, but like it's of Momo and her like holding hands.
I love it. Gwen will compliment her on this, and then kind of just like have a conversation with her about like, you know, like, oh, what do you do down here? What's your favorite thing about, you know, being, you know, what's your favorite thing about Momo, and what's your favorite thing about living down here? That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll ask, do you get to go up to the material plane?
And she says, her favorite thing down here is when Momo treats her to the concert with all the pretty ladies, being the Crown concerts. She loves spending time with Grandpa because he's so nice, and he loves her very much, in her words. And that he's teaching her all sorts of fun magic. And then she says that she hasn't been to the material plane yet, but she's heard a lot about it from Executioner Alistair, and she's really excited to find out what it's like on the surface.
Oh boy.
Whoops.
But she just has like a big, like, lighthearted kid grin on her face.
Yeah.
I think that's the point where Arjhan like walks up with contract and he's just like,
I was gonna say Caelum's just, if Asmodeus is cool with it, just chatting with him.
Oh, he's always more than ready to have an idle conversation with almost anyone. Mint julep.
Oh, thank you. I thought Arjhan said that the food here sucks.
Oh, that's just what we tell people so they can't get the good stuff.
Gwen is going to give Connie, she says, okay, well, when you get up there are a bunch of different like animals, and like there's birds that have feathers and like beasts that have fur, that sort of thing. And I'm sure they'll tell you all about them and like what ones you should avoid and what ones you could be, friends with. But I have something that might help you. And she's going to pull out her ring of animal influence, because it's one of the things that she has left. And she's going to say, now this can help you be friends with animals, and sometimes it can help you even talk to animals.
Her eyes get really big.
Mm-hmm. But you have to get good at magic to use it, okay?
I promise.
All right. So hand over the ring.
And when you do, she puts out her pinky finger.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Does it fit on her pinky? I mean,
No. When she says that says she promises, she puts out her pinky.
Yeah.
Gwen, right as you're about to do it, Grandpa Momo turns. Conquest, what did we say about making contracts with people? She's sorry, Grandpa. And she like brings her pinky back. Not until you're older. You don't understand the ramifications just yet.
Sorry.
There's no harm on your end. She knows better. And you just see her like hands up to her mouth, just like hee.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've got one around her age.
What? Oh.
They are just impossible to keep track of, but I love them anyways.
Oh, by the by, in case things kind of go, turns to see if Conquest is listening.
She's talking with Gwen.
Tits up. Kodoku. It's a method in which, certain sorcerers will gather together poisonous insects, put them into a jar, and make them fight to the death. The most poisonous one usually survives, and they use it to curse people. If you do that with your lemurs, that should possibly get you a strong devil.
I like the way you're thinking. Now, I'm sure that you've probably heard this all before, but if and you be thinking that an afterlife such as this would suit you, I have quite a few roles that someone as smart, as intelligent as you could possibly fill.
I've got my own thing going on, but thank you for the offer, though.
Understandable, but again...
If you ever need a librarian, though...
As a matter of fact, I do.
I'll have my people call your people.
I look very forward to it. The last Magister I had work with me, why, he's still around. Alright, it seems you and your team of legalese speakers have been able to take a good look at my my request.
I have one addendum that I would very much like to make.
Oh.
This information that you're offering, I'm sure you want to make sure that there is absolute control over it, which is why the nuclear contract component is in there.
That is correct.
It's as you say. Caius will likely not stop at our world. He is likely going after all. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Great. He's likely going after all the material planes. And I would like to make sure that those worlds are protected as well. I'd like to add a control of information clause. The information will be given to the four of us, and we may share it between the four of us in whatever world that may be.
I understand. And you are more than willing to share that information amongst yourselves. However, again, once that information has been successfully used, all knowledge, whether you or yourself, it will simply be a space. It'll always be on the tip of your tongue, but you'll never be able to remember it. So choose who you share that with lightly, or choose who you share it with very carefully.
If that's the case, then I don't know that I can agree to these terms.
Well, again, you use it successfully. You defeat Caius. The end. If you fail, and the other person that you've given it to uses it, defeats Caius, uses it, the end. You just have to be very careful, because if that person decides to use it on, say, a fractured goddess, might have a different outcome, wouldn't you say? I'm more than willing to dole out this information to you. It's up to you to choose if you can trust the people that you share it with.
Does the Caius defeated in one world imply the Caius being defeated in all worlds?
He is one and the same across everywhere. You defeat the central Caius, unless he has the ability to fracture himself up and divide himself spiritually from his very core. You're at no risk. That's the goal of all this, right? There's a central figure. If others are defeating Caius in different areas, they'll come to me. And I'm more than willing to share that same information with them for the same outcome.
We're getting very metaphysical here.
Yes, we are.
Does that logic track?
Yeah. It's from what you've heard, Caius stems from... He's not necessarily floating out in space as this separate entity. That is just where the entrance to his home resides. He is able to spread himself out across planes using these abilities, but for the most part he focuses on a jumping point, typically on the prime material plane. So when he is sealed away, it will be for all. It will not just be for you.
Just to summarize, he is a singularity we can defeat.
That is correct.
But if we're... So, meta.
Yeah.
Very meta. I know that in Tower Security, which we are making canon by these events and with this contract.
Yes.
Connie has been to an alternate reality where Caius did win.
She has. However, he may have won to a degree, but it wouldn't be like the entire scope, right? Like even if it happens like in that altered reality, there is still like other individuals there that would still be able to then do the same thing. It would be like
is that she visited that reality in the time before he was eventually defeated.
yes.
That in all timelines, Caius is eventually defeated, but in an alternate reality, it just happened at a different time with a different group of people.
That is correct.
Great. I'm gonna include the shareability clause,
Yes.
and assume that means that if we fail, another Arjhan can use it.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And because I do, so does Asmodeus. Makes it easy. So, Asmodeus quickly.
Does he react to that?
If he does, it is as it says a grin that creeps up on the side of his face. He doesn't seem confused or shocked by this. He's been around for a long time. But he seems, if anything, like a little pleased that you would add something to a contract. It seems like it's been a while since somebody was wanting to add restrictions or add clauses to a contract he drafted.
Great. Love that.
Yeah, so he goes through the document, signs where he needs to, flips it around to you.
I assume that I've brought like one or two of
Yeah.
the lawyer Abishai. If they are agreeable to it.
Yeah. They don't see any
I'll sign.
problem with this. And like one of the Abishai even lets you know, like, you're getting out easy on this one. You just have to hire his granddaughter. Like, from what we know, she's an absolute delight. She's always really respectful at the shows. So when the contract is signed, Asmodeus then takes it, rolls it up, and then opens up his coat, stuffs it inside, and says, "Now, I know it sounds foreboding, but the contract is sealed. Now, the second part of our agreement, you have to fight my champion." And when he says this, he takes the rod and taps it on the ground once. And as he does, it is like a trick of the eye in that the area in front of you seems to just go in distance. He seems to get smaller in the sense that he's moving away, but you feel there's no like air current. There's no way to indicate that this indeed would be a method of travel. It just seems like distance and reality itself is more warping to fit his needs. And you see him rise up with Connie at his lap. The other members of this court all sitting at this table that seems to now bow into an almost semicircle. And the rungs are then the leveled earth that is near seems to drop down in intervals, almost like they are seated rungs, forming a pseudo coliseum. And at the base of this coliseum, in a depression, are the four of you. And Asmodeus taps his staff twice on the ground, and the rungs are now full of a variety of devils, all looking slightly confused at first, but then they see you four down on the ground, and you can feel a fervor beginning to build. And at this, Asmodeus says, Ladies and gentlefolk of the court, I would like to announce that today we have a challenge. These 4 here have agreed to fight against my champion. I know her, you know her. Let's give a round of applause, shall we? And he taps his staff 3 times. And as he does, in the center of the Colosseum before you, you see a pillar of fire just jut up from the ground. And through this pillar, you see what looks like a solid shape of a large, almost oblong form appear. And that is when the fire breaks to 2 pitch black wings breaking through it. And before you, fully dressed in armor, flail in one hand, a large maul in the other, stands a bald, gray-skinned woman that has almost elven-like ears, a flaming coronet above her head, eyes that smolder with the darkest of embers, with what look like tears of black ichor that just seem to stream down her face. And she lands back down onto the ground, and she looks up towards Asmodeus, and she says, "What is it this time, old man?" And he says, "Ladies and gentlefolk, I give you the Archduke of Avernus, Zariel." Everyone begins to cheer and cry out as she looks not pleased with this. And he says, "Zariel, I'm sorry to call on you on such short notice, dearie." And you see Connie, "Hi, Auntie," like giving her a little wave down. And like Zariel looks at Connie and just like waves 2 fingers, like wags 2 fingers in her direction as a wave. And he says, "Now, Infinite RP, thank you so much for the raid. You have come at just the absolute bestest time." And he says, "All right. These 4 have agreed to fight you. Now remember, Zariel, in situations like this, feel free to rough them up a little bit, but don't kill them too bad. As for you 4, good luck." And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session, leading into a battle with the Archduke of Avernus. Thank you, Raiders, for joining at this absolute last pot.
You should follow so that next week you get to watch the fight.
Hey, title match.
With fucking Zariel.
What happens next week, though? It's
I won't be
the
here
week of
next
the
week.
13th.
Well, hey, guess what? Come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Welcome to Tier 4.
Yeah, welcome to Tier
Welcome to
4,
Tier 4.
where we just throw out CR26 creatures for our players to fight. I'm sure it'll be fine. But
I ran Descent. I've seen the stat block.
it's going to be a good time, y'all. Make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Wait, no, that's for YouTube. This is Twitch.
Smash that bell button.
Smash that motherfucking bell! But thank you so much for joining us here. I'm excited to find out what happens when we are able to return, but I always have a blast whenever these players are on the channel. RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my pals. You can catch me, you're one of them, here every Monday as Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard, on Wednesdays over at Lantern Noir, where we're going through a plane of dread where the food just keeps coming. Thursday over at GGK, where we do Elegant Magics. I have sold my arm to a demon named Bonesaw, and I do a great impression of Bonesaw's ready. Saturdays over at GGK once again. It's Mistborn week. Finally, Sundays in the morning over at the Hype Goblins. And then in the evenings over at the Lady Dame, I tweet whenever I go live. DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches, where I will be live tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock playing some Alien Isolation. Ooh. And then later I'll be on GGK. We are going to do our Savage World game, which is a Cthulhu-based game where we're in a time loop and we're going to die very quickly here. Next, after that, I will be, I'll be gone for most of the weekend, but Friday I'm going to be playing games by myself because Lauren's going to be out of town, and I'm going to start a very scary game. I'm working myself up to actually doing it. It's a live action point and click game. I can do it. I'm not going to cry. I can do it. And then
I'm
after
sorry.
that, I know. After that, I will be gone for the rest of the weekend because I'll be moving to my new space. Yay!
Yay!
But check my Twitter for all my stuff. And DanaeKeener.com.
Hoi! I'm Cyber. You can find me at CyberWolf1 on Twitter and Twitch. I'm playing Oblivion right now. That's fun. I think we're doing some sneaky thiefy stuff next time. So check that out. Yeah, for RPG stuff, I've got a Patreon with a whole bunch of free shit. I've got games on here on Mondays, but you're already watching that. You can also check out High Shelf Gaming, twitch.tv/High Shelf Gaming, where on Thursdays, every other Thursday, including this week's Thursday, I run a game of Urban Shadows using the 2nd edition quick start from Magpie Games. It's spooky. It's got that Louisiana flavor, so you know it tastes good with all the eldritch horror and spooky voodoo. Yeah, check that out. It's a good time. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. I haven't posted there in a while. I'm thinking I'm going to post there a little bit. I think we're going to do a dump of all of the Cori art that I've been doing for the past few months and just not posting for whatever reason. So go and check that out in a bit over the next few days. I'm going to see if I can get my Tumblr connected back to my Twitter, so you can find me at Danae Keener. You'll also be able to find the art there. It'll be posting there over the next few days as the queue runs through. So go and check it out. You can find my schedule pinned there as well, so you can go and see what I'm up to on the Twitches. DanaeKeener.com.
Right. No one comes after that except for me. Hello, everybody, and welcome.
I was so confused.
I was as well. I was like, yes, it is clearly someone else's turn. Hello, everybody, and welcome. If you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, including full playthroughs of a bunch of stuff, including our Tyrant Security game, which, as it so happens, hey, guess what? That shit's canon now, so have a good time. You can find an adultish Connie, who is also running through that game. That was played by me, but DM by Cyber. It was a great experience, and I'm still happy that I was able to be a part of that game. It was a wonderful time. Thank you again, Cyber. But
We're going to be talking about that on Nice in the Courtyard, so make sure to follow the Patreon.
just a bit, yeah. And hey, guess what? Speaking of that Patreon, that after show is actually free. It's just being hosted at the Patreon because it was easier to make another place where you could find the after show. So that way, if you were following us on Audiocast or video, that it wasn't like doubling up your content every day. And hey, guess what? If you liked what you saw, then you can support us on Patreon, and it's a good time. But for right now, we are going to be going into that after show, so I'd like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and support the show. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.